Tom.
And we are Velocities in Music. Today we're going to do a great new album in 2011 by PJ Harvey. It's called Let England Shake. And man, does she let England shake on this one. But, Tom, what'd you think?
I thought it was really good. But first, quick background on PJ Harvey. A lot of people, she's very underrated. A lot of people don't really know too much about her. She's been around since like the early 90s.
Right.
Been consistently putting out good albums, like a good musician should. Right. Sticking with it. She's almost 40 years old now, coming out with Let England Shake, which I think is one of the best in her discography, and I love it! Love it, love it, love it! When musicians that have been around for a long time can still come back and kick everyone's asses, and even kick their own asses, right. You know, of some of the old stuff. Yeah, exactly, of some of the old stuff they put out. She's on top of her game here. I mean, this album is just full of well-written song after well-written song. I think almost every single one of these tracks just has a vocal melody and a song structure and an evolution of the track that is just brilliant. Right. My one big complaint, the only thing really holding this thing back for me is that I think this album is full of tension, but it's not intense enough. Right. It's tense, but not intense. I feel like she's building this tension, but she never really lets it go. She never really releases it fully. And I think that that's the one thing really stopping it from being like just one of the best albums I've heard in a long, long time. Right, and
how she made this album is she actually had the entire, PJ Harvey actually had all of the lyrics to Let England Shake written before she wrote any of the music. And then she went and made music to it, which is such a unique take on the songwriting process. And I know that other artists have done this in the past, but just to see this happen in comparison to like Radiohead's Kid A, where Tom York literally pulled lyrics out of a hat. So it just showed, you know, how little the lyrics really meant as far as the whole album listen. But where PJ Harvey actually takes you know, the lyrics and makes them the forefront, and that's the whole point of this, is the lyrics. And she formed the music to complement the lyrics. So what you have is you have a lot of varied songwriting that's themed very well. The lyrics are obviously themed because it's a concept album, kind of a critique on the country of England, and since she's British, that kind of fits. But you know, but on top of that, you also have a lot of varying song structures, and so everything's kept fresh. And while I think that most of these tracks, this is a 12-track album, kind of a standard 12 tracks, and they all kind of stand on their own. All these songs could be singles if this were single-friendly music. It's not really, but they stand on their own, and that's almost, you know. And while I like that, I kind of wish that they all would have blended together more. And Tom, I do agree with you. I think that some of the, like, two of my favorite tracks, in the dark places and in Bitter Branches, those songs, like, I feel like there's these great songwriting where there's these crescendos and then, you know, cathartic releases, and then but I feel like it's not enough. I feel like it's just kind of clipped back a little bit, where it could have been just like, it's like an 8.5 and it could have been a 10. She
still wasn't letting it out all the way, and it's really holding it back. It really is.
But really, other than that, like, I think that's the only thing that really, this album has a lot of potential to be one of the best albums I've ever heard, and it's just a couple things that doesn't allow it to do that. But other than that, you know, the production and lyrical theming, that's not something that you find in a lot of music nowadays, and that's something I was super impressed by PJ Harvey. So when I started listening to this, Tom, I could not stop, and I know that the PJ Harvey bug kind of hit me before it hit you. Yeah. I mean, there was like a weekend where I literally listened to nothing else, and then Radiohead came out, and I was like, well, yeah. But I know that this kind of hit you recently, and you've been listening to it a lot more. So I think that this could get kind of addictive. But I think it comes down to the person, your personal preferences, whether or not you're really going to let this be like one of your definite albums, because it's just how you interpret music, as far as whether or not you like the whole intensity building and whether you need a complete album listen. And I'm pretty sensitive towards, I want the songs to work together to make an album rather than operate on their own.
And that's definitely true. Like you mentioned, the production and the lyrical themes are really what makes this an album, but there isn't much flow and interplay between the tracks other than that. I think she could have done that a little better, made some tracks flow into each other, and then, you know, have some maybe abrupt transitions for emphasis. But rather, it does feel like just kind of a lot of songs when you listen to it, besides those aspects that we already mentioned.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of trails off just a little bit at the end because of it. I feel like
the closing track is good, but it's one of the shorter tracks. It starts right away, and then before you know it, it's done. And it's like,
and it's the only track where she starts with a male vocalist.
And you feel like this album almost deserves a more grand finale than that. Like, it's good, but it's just kind of like, bloop. Like, there you are. And
but overall, I really think this is a brilliant album.
I love it.
Very,
really
very
do.
high quality. Definitely recommended. Go check it out. So we're going to continue the theme. But first, I think I'm going to give this an 82. Tom, I know you liked it a little bit more than
I'm going to give it a 90. I think this is just great songwriting.
Cool. So what do you guys think about Let England Shake? Because I know that there's a lot of buzz about this. I'm really interested for you PJ Harvey fans to leave us a comment. So please leave us a comment and tell us what you think about Let England Shake. And what's your favorite PJ Harvey album overall? Because she's been around a long time, has a lot of albums out there, and a lot of devoted followers. So what's your favorite PJ Harvey album? Let us know at www.velocitiesandmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesandmusic. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV Velocities and Music. Thank you for watching. We are moving music critique forward.